want to discuss something that you've probably never heard of. Exformation. Fact is, we get tons of information every day. We get an overload of information. We get statistics and figures and words and concepts and visuals and auditory things. We hear, we see, we feel. All this stuff is coming at us. And sometimes it's actually an overload that we can't stop. So we have to learn to filter. And sometimes there is so much information coming in, we don't allow ourselves the time to process what we're feeling, whether it be about the information we're seeing or what's sparked by that in our minds and our hearts. So, I would like to suggest that you make a conscious effort to create some exformation. Now, the history of the word exformation has to do with a hidden meaning that's obvious. For instance, if you were in a family where a member perhaps got engaged in a car, and it was a common story in the family, and all the extended family knew about it. And so when you mention the word car, it may have additional meanings like romance or commitment. But it's not, a car isn't just a car necessarily. And everyone knows that. So when you tell a story and use the concept of a car, you can play with that, and you don't have to explain that because everyone knows it. It's a type of exformation. So it's something that you are expression that has an additional meaning. So additionally to that though, I refer to the word exformation as expressing yourself out to the world. So information can come in and it can go out. So when it goes out, it's exformation. Now, when it goes out, it may not go really to the world. The process of expressing yourself may be just to express yourself. There are artists that will continue to paint no matter what, without even thought of selling their painting or caring if they sell the painting, because they're doing it to express themselves, and it has a purpose of its own. Poetry is often a way that people can express themselves in a less common way. There are other verbal ways. You can write short stories, and whether they be fiction or fact, you can express yourself because you can explore in them perhaps a feeling that you have. You could write a poem to express a feeling that you have about perhaps an infatuation with a movie star. You're not intending to go send that to the movie star. You're not intending it to share it with your spouse to hurt them. You're just doing it to express how you feel, to get it out of your system and help you, perhaps even help you process exactly how you feel. So there's a purpose for yourself in expressing yourself. And the fact is, if you hang around with the same people all the time, maybe you spend a lot of time at work, so you're with a coworker, or a spouse, or a best friend, a child, it doesn't matter. There's a point where you shouldn't just blurt out every thought, every feeling, because it's not healthy for them, just like all the information overload is not healthy for you. You may selectively decide what's important for you to express with someone, but there is perhaps a purpose beyond what you want to express to the important people in your life, to express or understand what you're feeling, feelings you're thinking or thoughts, disconnected ideas. And expressing is a great way to sort of make sense of that. If you've ever made a vision board, you've actually done this sort of exploration. So you are telling the world and yourself what you would like out of life. And a lot of times you have images that have hidden meanings. The car may not just be a car. It may represent so much beyond that that's on the vision board. And you understand that meaning, and you're the only one who has to understand that. You don't have to explain it to someone to have power and effect. So many things like this can be used. Even color, choosing a color because you feel cheery today, or perhaps picking a cheerful color and wearing that in the morning because you're feeling very glum and you want to change your mood. So you try to tell yourself, cheer up, look at the red that you're wearing and be cheerful. Or perhaps you're feeling over agitated and excited and you want to wear something neutral like black or gray to sort of calm down. You may wish to wear something conservative and businesslike because you want to get prepared for a meeting you have. And even if you're going to be on the phone and the other person isn't going to hear you, you feel different in the suit. You're expressing yourself in the world in a professional way that can be registered on the phone. So I suggest that you consider this thought of exformation, how you want to express yourself, and perhaps if you haven't been expressing yourself nearly as much, you might want to take some time, play around with writing a poem or doing some doodling, play around with colors, wear something different in your wardrobe for an effect, or perhaps having a conversation with a friend about something that's been on your mind or something you've been feeling, if that's what you think is appropriate. But the more you learn to get in touch with yourself, the easier it is to express yourself. And the more you express yourself, the easier it is to realize what is on your mind and your heart. So don't just go around every day receiving information to a point of overload. Stop every now and then and figure out a way to release some of your thoughts and feelings on paper, on canvas, maybe even on your dinner plate.